Hey guys, so another off-camera video, sorry. Expect a few of these coming up just because of the content that I'm going to be releasing in my next few videos here. You'll see my face again, if you care to, soon. The other thing I really quick wanted to mention was hopefully I will be getting a mic for my videos that are going to be recorded on my webcam, so you will hopefully no longer hear the white noise of my computer fan in the background. I apologize that that has been a thing for so long, but you know, hopefully I can do a little bit better here with my cinematography. Gosh guys, I'm such a dork. And also hopefully my ring light will last. It's been a while since I've charged it. It's kind of detrimental since I'm filming at night right now, but you know me, I'm a night owl. Anyway, so this video is actually going to be kind of a video reply and kind of my own thing. Brittany from Palmtreebewitchery recently posted a video where she was talking about reversals and asking, do you use them, do you not, when it comes to reading tarot or oracle, although it's mostly in the case of tarot. But I had been wanting to, for a long time, talk about and showcase the very first deck that I ever bought. And so I felt that this was a perfect opportunity to discuss it. So, this is the very first deck I bought for tarot. I bought it in early 2006. I know I saw it for the first time in 2005, but I didn't get it until it was after I went through a breakup with the very first, your first love, and I ended up buying myself this deck, and this is the first tarot deck that I ever bought, and as you can see, it's kind of bowed a bit. I'm trying to figure out like how to get that back, which is weird because I only shuffle my cards, this way. I can't do what I like to call the dealer shuffle. I don't like bending my cards. I'm very particular about my cards. I'm really meticulous. I want to take good care of them, but as you can see, this deck I've had a long time. This is the Revelations Tarot by Zach Wong, and it is still in print. But when I bought this deck, I did not really know much about tarot at all, and I did not start to really understand it on a deeper level until within the last year. But I read with it all the way up until that time. And the only other deck that I read with so consistently aside from this one was the Wild Unknown, which I have a really, really deep connection with that deck too. And I've had that deck since, I think, fall of 2016. I know I was pregnant with my second son. But yeah, so the biggest thing with this deck that I kind of regret is that the reversals are included on the cards. And the reason why I say that this is a regret of mine is because I don't believe that this deck is a beginner's deck at all. I think it's more advanced. It just made things more confusing, and it made me feel like I had to read reversals, that was just the way that it went, and I never questioned it. So that's not really good critical thinking now, is it? But with that being said, this deck is gorgeous, and it's very meaningful to me, and I love and adore it. It's been a while since I've read with it, but I'll show you guys kind of what I mean here. So, as you can see, the reversals are included on it, and they are included in the guidebook. There's the Tower. The crazy thing about the Tower is, when you get that card, you're kind of like, oh man, like, it's a sudden upheaval. What's going to happen? But the reversal is even worse. It's just like, it's basically the upheaval occurs in your life, and it's so dramatic that you're basically left standing in the wake of the storm wondering what happened. It's like a tornado that rips through and just ruins everything. So that also kind of gave me such a like fear of this card. But it's a gorgeous deck, and you know, as you can see, there's that polarity for the reversals included on the cards. And I really do wish that I had started out with a different deck, because I feel like this is an advanced deck in a sense, just because it confused me quite a bit, thinking that I had to read reversals and that was just the way to go. So my opinion now on reversals is I don't read them. Most of the time, unless I feel called to, if a reversal comes up in my readings, I disregard it. And I think it's because I started out with this deck, so I have sort of a maybe even jaded view of reversals. It just complicated things for me for years, and I felt very liberated once I realized that I didn't have to read reversals. I could just, you know, I could just keep things basic as it can be with tarot, but at the same time, you know, really deep dive into my readings. And if I want to go further into something, or I feel like that card needs to be reversed for whatever reason, if my intuition's calling that needs to be what it needs to be, then I listen. But most of the time, it's my gut instinct to completely disregard reversals. But this deck, I mean, if you want to start familiarizing yourself with reversals, I do recommend this deck, just because it did give me a lot of very insightful readings. I just found it overwhelming in the sense when you're first learning the tarot. It just was a lot. It was a lot for a newbie, and even now I don't really want to read with it much, aside from the sentimental aspect of this deck being my first deck. But I still love the artwork so much. But I'm just now really starting to study Rider-Waite. So, you know, once I familiarize myself more with Rider-Waite and kind of keep that understanding that Rider-Waite is honestly the foundation for pretty much every Rider-Waite based deck, then I feel like I can hopefully read almost anything without having much of a challenge. But this deck, I mean, I love it. It's incredible. It's an amazing deck. I do recommend it, and it definitely, you can, like I said, you can get some very deep meanings with this deck. The one card that I was going to show you guys that really kind of shows that polarity. Oh, here's a good one. The Eight of Swords. So we all know that's entrapment, you know. She's bound. But then the reversal, she's freeing herself. I always loved that card. Oh. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. Oh, there it is. Like, look at that. That's so cool. So that's like I said, not all the reversals are bad. And that's a really good example of what the depth that this deck does have. There's the Moon card. I love this card. It's so beautiful. But I mean, the reversal of the Moon card is kind of getting lost in that dream world and being detached from reality down here too. So there's a lot of there's just so much depth to this deck. Let's see. God, I need to set where. Let me put that over here. I'm trying to find a specific card, and you know that goes when you're looking for a specific card, you're not gonna find it until like the very, very back of the deck. Watch, here it is. Where's the back? Oh, we're getting to the back. Oh, there it is. This one, or these two are perfect actually. Both of these are another example of that polarity. So we have death which is depicted by Kali, which is just, I love this card. I mean, this is such a cool card for death. But then at the bottom, you see a baby that almost looks like it's in utero. So it talks about the whole death and rebirth, which I really actually quite love seeing depicted on death cards. So there's that one that's just so awesome. And then this card is the star. This is my astrological card. I know I mentioned this before. I'm an Aquarius sun sign. So, you know, the star is all about hope and whatnot. But in the reversal, you can see that she is turning her back away. This reversal tend to show up quite often when I had been very depressed. So, and it was just, this became my stalker card in my early 20s. Almost every single time I did a reading and this came up, and I had been struggling with my depression, I was like, oh, yep, there it is. I could basically expect it. It was ridiculous, but you guys know how that goes with stalker cards. For those of you that read tarot, like, there are some stalker cards. Usually for me, I always get a stalker card like once a month, or it just seems to be a month where it's like, okay, what do you want? Why are you stalking me? So yeah, this is the Revelations Tarot by Zach Long, and yeah, my opinion is to recap, I don't read reversals very much unless I feel called to do it, and I felt very liberated when I realized that was something I didn't have to do. And I think that you should go with what your intuition is giving you. If reversals are part of your tarot practice, then by all means read them, and don't let anyone dictate that for you. But again, in the same case of me, don't let it suffocate you or overwhelm you too, because the tarot can be a rather, to me it's almost like learning a foreign language. It just, there's so much to it, and that alone can be complicated enough, and adding reversals, especially if you are learning and you're just picking this up, it can be overwhelming. So just be patient with yourself and take your time. You don't have to jump into reversals right away. And if you feel like you're ready for it, then give it a shot. Try a couple readings and listen to any reversals that come up in your readings, record them, write them down, and then refer to them later. But that's my take on reversals. That's my advice to anyone who's curious about reversals, and that is my very first tarot deck that I got circa 2006. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and I will catch you in my next one. Blessed be.